This is Mike Shutek. Mike builds cars he will never drive. This is John Morton. John builds blood analyzers he will never use. This is Teresa Carter. Teresa constructs television sets whose pictures she will never see. You are part of a system, and because the system is highly competitive, its strength is also its weakness. You must rely on others for the products you use. But if, for instance, you don't have confidence in the skill, training, and attitude of Teresa Carter, a person you never met, you could buy a television set with components built by Sengi Hakaya, who works in Tokyo, whom you also never met. That is your right in the system. Of course, the reverse is also true. If Teresa Carter loses confidence in your ability, she doesn't need what you make. How good are the things you make? How good are Teresa Carter and Mike Shutek? And why is it that a lot of Americans prefer someone else's work? I'm Martin Negronsky, and I'm an American workman. So are my doctor, my dentist, the people who constructed this building and this street, and the waitress who served me dinner last night. They all have different skills and different capabilities, but they have two things in common. First, they are Americans who work. Second, it has been widely reported that we as a society seem to have begun to lose confidence in their work. Why? For a viewpoint on that, let's switch over to Japan. Like the legendary prophet, the American workman is sometimes honored more in a country other than his own. This is Isetan Company Limited, one of the oldest department stores in Japan. Every industrialized society in the world makes products like toys and towels, clothing, jewelry, cameras, watches, pens, and tools. The successful retailer does not have to import them over thousands of expensive miles. Isetan has found a reason to. When did you begin to sell American products?
Well, that started about 1945. We began gradually, and since then, the volume we handle has been increasing steadily.
Mr. Kasumasa Koshiba, manager of Isetan Tokyo. These American products amount to what kind of dollar volume?
Within our last year's sales record, it's equivalent to $1.5 million.
Why would the Japanese customer choose an American product instead of its local equivalent?
I believe that it's the quality of American product that has been appreciated by the Japanese customer.
Exactly what do you mean by quality?
I believe that there are 3 points. First is, there is functionality. They are useful. Second, they are very durable, good workmanship. And third, the prices are reasonable. So for these reasons, they are well reputed among Japanese customers.
One store in Tokyo does $1.5 million worth of business selling the same American products we take for granted. Toys, small appliances, sporting goods, towels. But it's not just the product that people buy. It's the quality, the workmanship. In Venezuela, 44% of all imported manufactured products are supplied by U.S. manufacturers. In Singapore, it's 22%. In Spain, it's 14%. In Australia, 24%. Why? For a viewpoint on that, let's switch to Washington in the U.S. Department of Commerce. We asked Dr. Charles W. Hostler, Deputy Assistant Secretary for International Commerce. Dr. Hasser, how well are American consumer products selling abroad?
American consumer products are doing very well, Martin. They're worldwide. We totaled about $9 billion in 1975 as compared to $6.5 billion the year before.
$2.5 billion says they are doing well.
That's very true.
Dr. Hasser, let's summarize it. Would you say then that American consumer goods really hold their own in world markets against any foreign competition?
Absolutely. It means competitiveness in price, prestige, high quality, distinctive styling, attractive packaging, and durability.
Durability, that's workmanship.
Yes, absolutely, Martin.
So people in other countries like and respect what we in the United States make. But the ships go both ways. In the past 2 years, the United States imported more than $200 billion worth of products from other countries. We tend to think of American workmanship in terms of the assembly line, immense, impersonal, and designed for maximum productivity. Its ultimate end, to produce X number of units per day, per hour, terribly familiar by implication. Quantity, not quality. Only this isn't an American plant. This is the Volkswagen Assembly Works. We are not the only people in the world with assembly lines. We seem to have a real fascination for foreign assembly lines, maybe because we don't work on them. Consider, for instance, the automobile. Its impact on life here is absolutely stunning. 1 of every 6 people in the United States depends on the automotive industry for their livelihood. But a lot of people besides Americans make cars, and in the past year, approximately 17% of the Americans who bought a car bought one that was made by workers in another country. To give you an idea of what that preference means, consider this. At the request of the New York Times, a Harvard economist did some research and reported that for every $1 billion in lost U.S. car sales, about 58,000 Americans lose their jobs. That means $1 billion equals 58,000 lost jobs. In 1975, import car and truck sales totaled in excess of $8 billion. That's 464,000 jobs. Do the arithmetic again. 58,000 times 8 equals 464,000 lost jobs. So, this preference for cars built by the workers of other countries has a tremendous impact on our economy.
The thing that I can't understand is I come here to take care of my claim. I see all these other people laid off from tire companies and glass factories, car manufacturers. They wait in line to get their money, and they go out into the parking lot and drive off in a foreign car. They never put 2 and 2 together. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Social scientists have pointed out that consumers approach a product not only in terms of its reality, but also in terms of the myth surrounding it. What you believe a product to be is what you buy. But is what you believe reality or myth? Let's take a closer look. The 3 basic areas of concern for the buyers of most products are: how much does it cost to buy? How much does it cost to keep working? How long will it last? All right, let's look at the facts. Fact: based on manufacturers' suggested retail prices, there are 9 cars sold in the United States whose initial purchase price is less than $3,000. 4 of these cars, the Gremlin, the Pinto Pony, the Chevette, and the Vega, are American. Fact: according to the latest EPA report on fuel economy, 30 of the top 70 rankings belong to American manufacturers. All of these vehicles were ranked at better than 20 miles per gallon in the city 30 miles per gallon on the highway, and all achieved at least 25 miles per gallon in the combined city highway test. Fact, 2 of the top 6 rankings, the Chevrolet Chevette and the Pinto Pony MPG, are American. So we are left with, how long will this bright, shiny new car last? 84% of all the foreign cars sold here from 1967 through 1970 are still on the road. In comparison, 85% of all the American cars sold during that period are still on the road. So going back 9 years, there's virtually no statistical difference between the durability of American and foreign cars. Or you can look at it this way. If, for instance, you are still driving a 1966 Chevrolet, like that one, there are almost 1.5 million other people just like you, and about 18 million people who have an American car older than yours. Well, if it isn't price, and it isn't fuel economy, and it isn't durability, then what is the difference?
I think the foreign car makers take more pride in workmanship.
The foreign manufacturer seems to be more interested in the craftsmanship and the quality that goes into his product than in just how many units he produces in a given day.
Well, you see, the foreign cars put together differently. They use all kinds of special techniques over there.
That's an interesting belief. Let's take a look. This is a Datsun assembly line in Japan. This is a Fiat assembly plant in Italy. This is a Chevette assembly plant in Wilmington, Delaware. These plants have much in common. Their workers take vacations and days off for illness just as anyone else. And they are just as obligated to operate at a profit as any place else. The myth has grown that small foreign cars, especially those made in Europe, are handcrafted by skilled national artisans. Foreign cars are built in plants much like ours by people from many different countries and backgrounds, just as we are. In West Germany, there are more than 2.5 million so-called temporary foreign workers. They come seeking work from less industrialized countries: Greece, Turkey, Italy, Spain, Yugoslavia, and many of them find their way onto the assembly lines of the German manufacturing plants. For the most part, they come with limited technical skill. They come to earn a different life, just as American workers of all races, creeds, and ethnic backgrounds gravitated to the industrial centers in the United States. So not all foreign products are built by Swiss watchmakers. On the other hand, who builds American products?
It's not like the old days where, you know, just casual, just put a car together and that's it. Out, we ship it. But right now, it's quality's everything.
Why do you say that?
Well, if we don't put out good quality, no job, no one buys. Who's going to feed my family?
I've talked to thousands of our guys. I've represented the people in one capacity or another for the past 10 years. And I can honestly say that I don't really know of anyone that I've met who doesn't want to do a good quality job when he's at work in the plant.
Well, Mike, would you call that pride?
Well, yeah, it's pride. Pride in my workmanship. I call it my responsibility to myself.
That's how some American workmen see themselves and the men they work with. You may see your job and the people who work with you differently. But they're by the managers of a number of foreign firms and by a number of American industrialists as well. Robert Lund is a General Motors vice president and general manager of the largest U.S. automobile operation, Chevrolet. Mr. Lund, would you comment on these foreign manufacturers' management decisions to set up operations here in this country?
Well, Martin, I don't think it's very surprising to find foreign automobile manufacturers looking to develop assembly facilities here. A lot of economic factors could contribute to their decision. Foreign companies in other industries. Sony and Kawasaki, for example, have had highly successful manufacturing operations in the United States for years. You don't make an investment of that magnitude without that confidence in the quality of your workforce.
Listen, isn't a good deal of our success, though, due to purely technological advances?
Well, naturally, the bottom line of technology is still people. People who recognize needs, people capable of developing the technology, and most importantly, people capable of operating it. What you really need is a productive combination of all these skills.
Well, your bag really are automobiles. Give me an example as it applies to automobiles.
Well, if you want to use the automobile as an example, I think you have to look at it this way. There are more than 92 million American-made cars on the road today in this country. And each has something like 15,000 different parts in it. To achieve this kind of quality and productivity, the American worker has to be doing a phenomenal number of things right.
The American workman has to be doing a phenomenal number of things right. These century-old steam engines here in the Smithsonian Museum are an example that deserves more than a passing thought. While our grandparents' workmanship went into such innovations, they in turn would have considered as miracles the things we scarcely notice except when they inconvenience us. We've spent a large part of our time looking at American workmanship in the automobile industry, not because it's the epitome of our craftsmanship, but because 1 out of every 6 of us either contributes to or is dependent upon that product for our daily bread. Also because it's an area of manufacture where we are in direct competition with the workers of many other countries. We are the American workers. We are not some faceless, nameless legion. We are us, you and me. Maybe we are not as good as we can be, but we are better than we believe we are. This has been Martin Agronsky reporting.
Hello, everybody. I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to our lunchtime streaming show. We're getting ready for Labor Day weekend, so I figured I'd show a film about labor, workmanship myth. I've watched this many times over the years, and it gets more and more interesting to me as I learn more and more about what was happening with labor and the automotive industry, and the fact that they talk a lot about craftsmanship, but they don't talk about materials. They don't talk about the design. And unfortunately, they use as examples of cars the Pinto and the Chevette, which they didn't age very well compared to the Honda Civic, the other cars on there. And I would say it's not because of the workmanship. I would say it's because of the manufacturing, the materials. Like, I think that there was a push to cheapen the materials, use cheaper materials, and to kind of create a forced obsolescence of a car. It's the idea that the big car manufacturers were trying to get people to continue buying cars, and they knew that this level of car was the lower middle end of the spectrum, and that they were trying to get people to buy newer and newer things. And so the problems I seem to remember with those cars weren't the fact that they were poorly put together. It's just that the plastic things would start breaking, and the fabric roof would start coming in because they didn't use a stronger adhesive, and all these factors that had nothing to do with the actual work. So it's very interesting. And that idea that a certain type of manufacturer of another country is better was because it was advertised as such. It was advertising that pushed that. So American ad companies pushed that. Anyways, getting off the soapbox. Thanks for joining us. Let's see, what do we got? This film is about venereal disease, but not really about venereal disease. It's about the emotions associated with venereal disease, and I love it because it has a song, and this is one of the Centron-made films that have songs about venereal disease. There's Dance Little Children. There's another one. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have that title. But there's a couple that actually have songs about VD that are really pretty good. So this one doesn't have all the gross sores and all that stuff. It's all about the emotions and the lunatic. And this is actually features music by this band Tide, which is Jim Stringer, who wrote Shake Hands with Danger. And so I found out about this when Jim Stringer reached out to me about Shake Hands with Danger and said, yeah, I started working with Centron on this film called The Lunatic. So here we go, The Lunatic.
Was that really me? Sometimes I can't believe it ever happened.
Hello?
Yes, may I speak to Jennifer McDonough, please?
This is Jennifer. The what clinic? Wait a minute. Are you talking about... Who are you talking about? I don't understand. Who gave you my name?
I'm sorry, Jenny, but I just can't give you that information. Look, do you think you could come into the clinic sometime soon? Say this afternoon.
Where is this place? No, but I can find it, I guess. Yes? Okay, thank you. No, don't worry about it. I understand. Okay. Bye.
Lunatic was running, trying to find a place to go. The people running after him, and if they caught him, boy, they'd show him. One man stopped and caught his breath and called the men in blue. 'Cause with a lunatic at large, no telling what he'd do, yeah. The lunatic is loose, and the sane men have to hide, 'cause they know the things they say he's done that good folks can't abide.
Well, I just found out that I have VD. Or at least I probably have it. This guy called from the clinic today and said that some people I know have contracted VD, and so, I mean, he wouldn't even say Richard's name. He says I probably have it, and so he wants me to come in and get some shots.
I turn around, you know, and she's not there, which really bummed me out because we were starting to get into a very heavy thing together. Anyway, the next thing I know, I'm up on that stage, you know, playing my guitar. But like, you know, I look down and I don't have a guitar. But I really was up on the stage playing, you know?
So she'd split on you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like I'm waiting for her to come back, you know. And I'm sitting up on the stage, like doing two-part harmonies by myself. I know, it sounds weird, but I really was getting into that. Anyway, I'm surrounded by all these musicians and magicians, and all this really fine sound is coming out of everybody.
I'll never forget how I felt that day. Never.
Jennifer McDonough, please. So I look around, you know, and there are about 50 people then staring back at me, which I didn't really mind. Hi, come on back. Are you a student here in town?
Yes, I am.
Your parents live here?
No.
Come on in.
I don't understand. Are you the one who called me?
Yes, I am.
Excuse me.
Well, we are talking about Richard, right? Well, you know, 'cause well, he's the only guy that I've slept with, so, could you tell me when he came in for treatments?
Look, Jenny, now you know I can't give you that information. I'm sorry, but, you know, everything around here is completely confidential. Your case and everybody else's. I can't talk about those involved.
Look, you don't understand. I know it's Richard. It couldn't possibly be anybody else. So why can't you just...
Jenny, now try and understand. I can't give you that
What's
information.
involved?
Okay?
Well, how many are there? Maybe Richard hasn't been in here at all. Maybe he just gave them my name on the phone or something. Richard, why do you keep hurting everybody?
Now try and understand, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jenny.
Hi.
Hi.
Busy?
Come on in.
Diane, this is Jenny. Jenny Diane.
How are you? Oh, just fine.
Well, I guess I better be getting on back to school. I've got a wedding to break up. It was nice meeting you, Jenny. Well, goodbye.
Yeah, we'll see you.
I don't know what to say. I came over here to find out what's going on in your head. I get told by some guy at the clinic that somebody, obviously some girl, gave your name and you gave my name and we all have VD. And I'm just so confused, Richard.
So am I.
Why didn't you tell me yourself? Why did I have to hear it that way?
I don't know. I came over the other night to tell you. Well, I got there and, well, what's her name? Your roommate was there, and you know what she does to my head. And then I couldn't. I didn't think the time was right. And then I got home and I got uptight and I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know. I suppose that chick that just left here is probably the one who gave it to you. Do you know that?
Yeah.
How do you expect me to feel, Richard? I mean, how do you expect me to feel? For 6 months now, you have been telling me how concerned you are about humanity, how we all need to be more honest and more pure. Boy, I really don't feel that now.
Are you just being hard on yourself, maybe?
Oh, Richard, I feel terrible. I feel ugly.
Look, it's not that big a thing. It's just in your
It is a
head.
big thing. It's really dangerous, and it is sickening.
The whole world's rotting away anyway.
Oh, Richard, don't be such a fake. Let's face it. The guy from the clinic called and said that you have to come in and get some shots. And obviously you haven't been in yet. Look, I don't know what you're putting it off for, but you better go in because all you're really doing is infecting your precious humanity.
Look, I'll go in. I'll go in, but it's my thing and I'll go when I'm ready.
I mean it, Richard. Please go in.
Go, all right?
Okay. Well, I better go now. This was my Richard, my love. Mixed up Richard. What was it with him? I guess I always wondered. What made him the way he was? He was so wonderful in so many ways, and so thoughtless and self-centered in others. My Richard. All he needed was some shots to save himself. And save some others too, I guess. The clinic could cure what he had. They kept calling me and saying my contact must come in for treatment. Never a name, just my contact. Oh, Richard.
Hi. How are you?
Fine. Can I sit down?
Sure.
Sorry to bother you, but, well, I don't really want to be here. This guy, John, called from the clinic and asked me if I wouldn't come over and plead with you once more to come and get your shot. So, here I am, pleading with you again. I told him I didn't think it was too cool for me to be over here, since I didn't think we'd be seeing each other anymore. But I felt sorry for him because he's been having so much trouble getting in touch with you, Richard, since you've been so difficult. And
Yeah, I really feel sorry for him.
well, I'm sure it doesn't touch you too much, Richard, but you might try and consider the fact that he is trying to help you and help a bunch of other
I've
people
heard that
because
junk
of
all
you.
my life. Everybody trying to help him.
Oh, Richard, a lot of people have tried to help you, and you know it. You just don't want any help. You just don't enjoy any help at all.
Look, you don't know my hassles, so don't preach to me.
Oh, I don't know your hassles. Oh, boy. How many times have I heard that?
You don't. You don't know a thing that's going on inside my head. You don't know what the situation is. You see, this much. Well, there's a lot more to it than that, I'm telling you.
What are you talking about, Richard?
Just trust me.
Trust you? Oh, Richard. There's nothing to trust. You won't let anybody help you. I've tried, and the guy at the clinic have tried.
This guy at the clinic. I don't think this guy at the clinic can do what he wants to do. Because he doesn't know.
Know what?
I didn't get it from that girl you met.
What are you talking about, Richard?
I've had it for a long time, Jennifer. Even before I came here. I just didn't want to tell anybody. Especially you. I'm sorry.
He left. For me, it was over. Richard was running. And people were still trying to help him. Would he ever help himself?
Crazy, you could see it in his eyes. children ran and hid, 'cause they were fearful of his cries, yeah. The lunatic was running, trying to find a place to go. The people running after him, and if they caught him, boy, they'd show him. One man stopped and caught his breath and called the men in blue. 'Cause with a lunatic at large, no telling what he'd do, yeah.
All right?
I always wonder who really was the lunatic. Was it Richard?
Ah, she didn't know what she's missing.
Or was it me?
Such a great film. Holy cow. I love showing this one. I have a collection of old venereal disease films, and this one is so good because it deals with the emotions associated with it. There's another one called, what is it? Is it Clinic 23? Contact 23? I have to look that up. But that also deals with the emotions associated with going into the clinic to get a test and then to get a shot. And both of these roughly came out around the same time in the 70s. And what's great about this one is somebody maybe looked at the subtext, and it's like, did Richard get it from a guy, and then he's just too ashamed to talk about it, and then won't tell anybody? Was it, what is the deal? And honestly, this film isn't to address the Richards in the audience. It is to address the girl, and whose name just popped right out of my head. I don't have enough coffee. People, give me some coffee. So it's about her, and it's about her, and the trust associated with having intimate relations with someone. And you think, wow, some guy's really cool, but you don't know him, you don't know his background, and Richard could get treated for this pretty easily, but he's not going to because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to have to deal with it. And so that's really a great story that venereal disease films don't really talk about. They don't talk about the fact, and they certainly don't always talk about the woman. They talk more about the man getting it from the woman. And it's because most of these films were made for the military, and they were predominantly male. And they were cautioning about girls and easy pickups, B-girls, and the ones that weren't prostitutes but were willing to have sex with you, and possibly spread the disease, even though she looked clean. So, really fascinating film. And I think that Jim Stringer the man who wrote the song and was in the band Tide, he had already written The Lunatic. And Centron liked it so much that they actually kind of patterned the entire and renamed the film based on the song. The song itself isn't really about venereal disease, but they felt like it applied. And then Jim continued to work with Centron until the 80s. Such a great film, and of a very specific time. And, you know, the whole concept of notification of people who have disease is certainly on our minds nowadays. Time to show a film. I forgot to show the film I was going to show. So I have a telecine here, and I bring films from the archive. And this one is called Four Famous Frauds. Enjoy.
Hi. I guess I've got you wondering about me. Well, this film is called Our Street, and in it I play the role of fraud, PT fraud. I advise people like you, the consumer, on ways to spend, I mean invest, their hard-earned cash. Interested? Follow me. Of course, most people think they're too smart for me, too well protected by their consumer protection agencies. Here, take a look. All they give is advice. And who takes advice, right? Or their consumer laws. People really feel protected by those laws. They can't believe a guy would stand there with his bare face hanging out and break a law. Well, let me give it to you straight. I didn't go to a law school, so I don't know what is or isn't a law. And you know something? I don't care. None of that stops me. Not door locks, window bars, alarm systems. These things can't keep me out. I get in all the time. I pop in everywhere. It's really easy. No rough stuff, no violence, nothing heavy like that. There are lots of ways. As a matter of fact, all it takes is a few feelers to get in. That's all it takes. You can do that anywhere, in a million different ways. They read me. I'm excitement. I'm dreams. I'm everything they want me to be. I'm beating the system, getting something for nothing, feeling smart or in or special or lucky. I'm now or never, a glorious tomorrow. I boost morale. I build confidence in the future. I even get rid of their fears. It's a talent I have.
Look, we've decided to look at that film after all. But we'll only be looking, because I know we're nowhere near ready for anything like that yet. We're just looking. And we can't afford to put anything down on...
See what I mean? I'm action. I get to people. My name is fraud. You look me up in the dictionary and it says I get my money under false pretenses. Well, maybe so. But most people help me out a lot. We're in this together, you know. Just watch.
Yes?
Afternoon, ma'am. Hope I'm not disturbing you, but me and my men were in the neighborhood working on a heater job, and we finished up just early enough to work one more in. I don't know if you've had yours checked recently, but we could give you a special price right now.
Matter of fact, I have been thinking about that heater. Gas leaks and all.
It's a dangerous thing to neglect. Of course, this time of year, we're booked solid. We couldn't schedule you in for another month or so if you were to call into the office. Won't take but a minute or so to check right now.
Yeah. I guess it wouldn't hurt for you to look at it.
Mrs. Murray, I'm finished.
Here I am. Everything all right?
Boy, it's lucky we were in the neighborhood. I'd hate to sleep in this house with that furnace the way it is. But don't worry, we turned it off.
Turned it off?
Well, what's the matter? Can it be fixed?
Oh, sure, we can fix it, but it's a pretty long job, and I thought you might want to call in your regular heating people. I mean, like I say, we're booked solid, so we couldn't come back tomorrow. But it's not safe to leave it on. If you want us to fix it, it'd have to be now, working overtime.
Oh, dear. I don't know what to do. We can't do without our heater, and our regular people won't be in for a month. How much will it cost?
Of course, in my business, you want to cash that check and get out fast. No point in letting yourself in for a lot of grief from the local yokels. Did you see how she never compared my prices? Never checked me out either. But she did sleep better, and I left the furnace just the way I found it. Working just fine.
Pardon me, sir.
Yes?
Would you happen to know when the Edwards will be home? I've been here twice today trying to make this delivery, and I'm really getting desperate.
The Edwards. Right. Well, I'm not sure when they'll be back, but I could take that package and see that they get it, if that's what you want.
Would you? I've got a baby coming any minute now, and I've got to get to the hospital. Oh, there's $10 due on the package.
Right, okay. Here we go. Let's see, okay, here, take that.
Thank you.
All right.
I feel like you saved my life. I was beginning to think I'd never get to the hospital.
Yeah, think nothing of it. Hope it's a girl. Land hustling. That's a business to get into. Even me, cynical as I am, I marvel at the way the boondocks are subdivided and sold, at the smooth pitch that easily hoodwinks intelligent people. People like you, and me, and at the corporations chopping up the countryside into quarter-acre lots. It seems that every year more people get land fever. On almost every weekday evening, thousands of couples across the country attend free dinners given by somebody who is hawking land. Why, 750,000 people are lured to Florida alone every year by free vacation gimmicks tied in with these land promotions. But land isn't the only way I can get at your ego.
But what about a job? I thought I was guaranteed a job on graduation.
Yes, of course. Hey, sit down here, Barbie. Come here. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, you weren't worried we were going to go back on our word, were you? In fact, we may use that same shot for our newspaper advertising, and if we do, you get the same fee, just as for this.
Fee?
Yeah, we've credited your final bill with a $20 model fee. That's the going rate for a one-shot freelance job.
Oh. I thought you meant a career. You know, with a salary? Like a regular job.
Hey, come on. You don't want to work 9 to 5 at a desk and all. See what I mean? I never promised her Vogue or Harper's or Hollywood. People are always lying to themselves, dreaming it up big, big, big. They're naturals for me. That kid over there, he probably saw himself taking on every kid on the block. Gonna turn himself into the local King Kong. Well, caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. That's to warn people against me. That's okay. But don't forget about my collaborator. He's in this with me all the way. And you can catch a good view of him anytime you care to look into that mirror, baby. Just you take a nice long look into that mirror. Oh, pardon me, ma'am. This package came, I was here, and this guy was
COD? I haven't ordered anything.
Well, maybe if you look inside. It was $18. It was the poor guy's third attempt at delivery, so I thought I'd help him out. Nice day, isn't it? Well, I'll be. I've been taken.
That's a great film. And I don't know if they make films like this nowadays and educate people about fraudulent stuff, because we are certainly being pounded by daily fraudulent inquiries via email and phone. It is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. All right, let's see what we got going on next. Thanks, everybody, for donating coffee. It's always a great way to support AV Geeks. I did a screening at Duke University, at Duke University, and I showed various films that deal with race, and this one was part of a minority youth series made by Bailey Film Associates, and it looked at different cultures, and this one deals with a young Native American. This is Adam.
No more. No more Shawnees. They all turned the other way into white people. They're not recognize, the Indians. They're mostly almost white. So not many Indians left. It is sad. But then, what can we do about it? Can't do nothing.
When I first realized I was Indian, I was about 4 or 5 in kindergarten, and I used to tell people I was an Indian from India, because that's what sounded like Indian. But, we used to say little stuff like that, because, we didn't know nothing about Indians. Everybody says the Indians are savages and stuff like that, because the publishers wrote it out like the Indians, they scalped all the people in the, in the West, something like that. But they don't tell why. Like in the beginning, the reason why the Indians were fighting against the white men is because they don't want the white people to settle on Indian land. And then later, some of the French scalped an Indian and they get some money off of it, they get about $25 a head. They just censor all that stuff out of the books. So you gotta start out once in a while asking your own questions and then getting the answers for it too. People think that, Indians are special people, like they could run better than other people and all that. Because, this person at school in the 7th grade, he goes, "Oh, I'll bet you anything you could outrun me." So we had a race and he won. He was a much faster guy too. And he goes, "Oh, I thought Indians were always faster than other people." Some people are, prejudiced against Indians, and they start saying all this stuff like, "Hey, when are you ever going to get your hair cut? What are you going to do with it? Go on the warpath or something like that?" So I don't hang around with them at all. Well, I consider growing my hair as being an Indian thing, because the Indians, they had long hair a long time ago. So I'm just doing what they did. keeping up our traditions and all that. Dancing is part of it. I've been dancing since I was about 5 years old. They get them when they're just about to walk, put on costume, and they get them out there to dance. Everybody doesn't want to in the beginning, because they're real shy of crowds. My first costume had a fox hat with 3 feathers sticking out of it, and a buckskin vest, little bells, and moccasins. They were the store-bought kind, the black kind.
Hey, hey! Right into another big chain.
I was dancing up at Frontier Village usually. Then later we got kind of tired going back there just for performances, because, you know, we didn't get paid or anything like that. All we did was get free rides. You know, all the rides we went. So we got sick of the rides.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Adam Nordwall, Chippewa and Shoshone. Let's give him a real nice round of applause. Hey! Kind of proud of that boy. He's my son.
I like dancing because it's the old Indian way, the way how they used to do it, and I just feel free, you know, when I'm by other Indians and they're dancing. White people, you know, make remarks about my costume. You know, they say, oh, look at that funny thing they got in the back, or the funny thing they have on their head. But I'm just by other Indians and I feel good. I wanted to be like my father, be a spokesman for the Indians, and going around giving talks about the Indians. Like most of the Indian children, they go getting close to white people and then they don't know much about Indian culture or about the Indian history. So I wish someone would teach them and, you know, they pass it on and later it get known. Later on, in about 5, 6 years, when I get out of high school, my parents are going to live down to the reservation. Because we only got a little 2.5 acres, and so we're going to get a house on it, and we're going to live off of that.
Eddie's my grandchild. I just love him. You know, when he come here, he's fun.
My grandmother tells me a lot of Indian, you know, the old ways. But usually when my mother's there, she talks in Indian, and I don't know what a thing she's saying. Only a couple of little words here and there.
Oh, I was telling them last night. Why don't your mama teach you? She hardly know Indian language either, their mother. So she don't teach them. All English all the time. So kids, when I talk, what's that, Grandma? We want to know. What is it?
So she tries to teach me some of the language, like she says, like that.
So, you know what that means.
She points, so I go get her cigarettes, or whatever they are. And, you know, I take lucky guesses.
Nabahon na yake, nabahon diya mo. Yeah. Isa ka lang sumanayin. Tamagamolo karagade mane nigwin. That's all he can understand.
So she thinks I'm knowing the language a little better, while I'm just taking more lucky guesses.
You know, the poor things are. It's fading away from them, the Indian language. They're all that way.
I don't know about my youngest sister, but my oldest one said that she would, you know, rather get married to an Indian, because then she'd like to have little children bring them up dancing and teach them some of the history. But now she's going on with a white guy, you know. I don't know what she's going to say now. she might change her mind. It's okay to go with them, but then later, get married to them. They should stay with the Indian traditions, stay with the Indian people, because later there'll be no more Indians.
No, no more. No more Shawnees. They all turned the other way into white people. So not many Indians left. It is sad, but then what can we do about it?
We're going to try to keep up the thing that we did in the past and see how long we could do it. Keep on keeping on our beliefs, religion, and all that. And so we hope it doesn't die out, because then we'll be gone.
Oh my gosh. I was muted the entire time. I'm so sorry. Anyways, 3 o'clock, I'm going to do a show about called Vote and the Choice is Yours with Hunt Library and with the film professor. It's about people who felt intimidated about voting in 1964. Thanks for showing up. like coffee, AV Geeks. Everybody have a good Labor Day weekend. I'll be here on Monday because I enjoy doing this. I enjoy spending time with you guys. So I hope everybody has a really good weekend and get some rest and give yourself a break. And be kind, rewind, love each other, etc. Be aware of that mute button because it'll kill you. All right. Everybody have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.